Well, I am in the mood for taking one of these beauties here and doing something nice with it. I'm feeling a little lazy today, so I'm not going to do a bunch of pieces, but I really do feel like doing something. I've been going through some of the loose pieces that I have, and I picked out a few interesting pieces of Jasper and Agate here. I had a whole bunch of smaller ones that I had preformed a couple of weeks ago, but they are kind of small, not very dramatic, and if I'm only going to do one or two stones, I want it to be something a little bit larger and nice to look at. So I picked out a small group of stones here. I'm going to cut a free form, whatever I'm going to do here. I don't feel like dragging out the saw. But anyway, I thought I'd show you some of the pieces that I'm looking at here. I've got this piece here, kind of an interesting Jasper. Some nice patterns going through it. This is a very pretty piece of agate. Yeah, some beautiful banding going on along here with some reds and kind of this brownish, tannish, orangey color going through it. This side's got a little bit more red going through it. It's a pretty piece, but that's not what I'm going to use today. I would have liked to have used this piece. This is very cool to me. I always love when I get a combination of jasper and a quartz vein or chalcedony going through a piece. And this fit that bill, but I don't want to waste this piece on a cabochon. I got to think about what else I may want to do with it. I see a little bit of a crack going right here, so there is a little bit of a fracture in it. There is a little tiny quartz pocket over here, but the whole end of this is druzy. Now I've made it wet so it isn't showing up quite as much as it would. So I don't want to waste this as a cabochon. And it is kind of small and it's been cut. It was sawed down this side here. So, and it's kind of small, so it's not going to make a great slab piece, although that might be what I wind up doing with it. Or I can take the saw and cut this piece out on an angle here and save this piece to do some kind of an inlay with somewheres along the line. But I think because this has got the druzy up here and this quartz pocket here, I think I'm just going to probably polish that as a little slab. So that leaves these two here. I don't want to work on those smaller ones. That leaves these two here. And these are two really good possibilities. I can see this one here just slightly curved at the top, offset, and then rounded down here. So I want to try and save as much of the stone as possible. So I think that's probably a good way to approach it. Instead of, I had an oval drawn in here thinking about doing that, but I think I want to save as much of the stone as possible. And there is a little quartz vein going through the thing here, so that should prove to be a pretty cool stone. I don't know if this is a fracture going down here, but we will find out as we start polishing it. But this is probably going to be the side I'm going to make for the top. That's a pretty stone, so I think that's a good possibility. And this one here's got some pretty color going through it. This may be petrified wood here. Don't know. There is none of the original skin on, well, a little bit here, but not enough for me to tell. And I see this kind of fibrous look going through it, so it may very well be that this is another piece of Arizona petrified wood. I don't know. I can't confirm that, but it does have reds and tans and browns. And I'm thinking this is going to be one where we're going to go this way and like a half round on it to try and save as much of the stone as possible. So, and this got a pretty yellowish orange streak going through it here as well on both sides. I don't know, I think it's a little bit more dramatic on this side, so I may use this as the top, although this seems to have more red going through it. So I'll have to look at that after I get rid of this lump that's here and start flattening things out and shaping it, and then I'll decide which way. But I think these two stones here are probably what I am going to work on for today's video. So I hope you guys enjoy. Start off with a 60 grit hard wheel. What you think? And shape the outside of this, and then we will take it from there and decide which side I'm going to make the top and which side I'm going to make the bottom. But from this point forward, I am just going to probably run most of the video on 3 or 4 times the speed and let you enjoy a little bit of music. So here we go. Well, on this stone here, I thought that I was going to do a free form, and little bad spots kept on showing up, and I kept on grinding away, and not a perfect pear shape, but pretty darn close to it. I'll refine it a little bit more as I'm going along. This is the side I chose for the top, and I've already started with the 60 grit wheel, starting to round it off, but that's where I will stop there, and now I will just concentrate on getting the back done before I come back to do anything with the top. And with this other one here, both of these I had a hard time deciding which I wanted for the top and which I wanted for the back, but this was a pretty dramatic streak that was going through here, and love this little white spot down here, so I chose that for the front. The streak here wasn't quite as dramatic on the reverse, so this is the side we're going to go with the top, and I've already started slightly doming this side too with the 60 grit, but that's where we'll stop with that. Just wanted to start getting a little bit of the shape, but this one here has a little tiny chip there, which I probably will be able to get out with the next wheels, and this was where that bad saw mark was, where there was a lump there, so there's still lots of where the saw went in deep to it. I have to grind down more, and I don't think I want to do it with the 60 grit because I don't want to put too many deep scratches in it. So we're going to stop from here and move on to the 100 grit wheel. Now this isn't a perfect arch here. I tried getting a perfect arch, but I was free-forming it, so I think by the time it gets done, it will look pretty. So we will see what happens with that. So let me get back to work, and we will take a look at this when we get done with the back of the stone. Well, I must admit, once in a while you come across stones that are a big challenge to have go right. And I have got one there that became very frustrating. I finally gave up on it. But this one here, which I don't know if this is a Jasper agate or whether this is petrified wood. I know I say that quite often when I see these colors together. But I know that I have done petrified wood with these colors. It's just that it's so hard to tell when you don't have any fibrous material going through it and you don't have the original skin on it. But this turned out pretty nice. Right in the very center here, there is some very fine little scratches, pits, whatever. I kept on working on it and couldn't get it. It just kept on pulling from whatever is below the surface there, but you can't see it to the naked eye. You need 10 power magnification to see it. But this is polished on the back and top, and I love the reds that showed up in it and the streak of clear chalcedony or quartz or whatever it is that runs across it. It's a very pretty stone. Because I was having a problem with another one, I pulled out one of the little pre-forms that I had. This one is petrified wood and has quite a pattern going through it. It's a small stone, but it turned out really nice. Let's see if I can get better light on some of these. I am not going to shoot close-ups because there's only one or two here that... and I'll get some light on this one here so that you can see it better. This one here, which I had great hopes for, pretty stone, but this turned out to be a major problem. I took it all the way through the steps to polish it, but there was no reason to. I should have stopped long before that. I had problems with the back when I was doing it. I finally did get a polish on the back, but when I came around to the top, this white spot here, and there's tubes of white going through it, all through it, and they're running this way. Some are running upward. I'm thinking maybe that's calcite that's in there because they kept on pulling. This spot here, there's all kinds of scratches along here. No matter how much I tried with different wheels and stuff, and I even used sandpaper for a while, or wet and dry sandpaper, and that didn't help. And then all along the edge here, there's these little divots where it kept on pulling. It just became a real nightmare, this stone here, and it's a shame because the colors in it is so beautiful. But I am thinking that's probably some kind of calcite, or it is probably calcite going through it. And that is such a softer material, excuse me, from the agate and quartz, or agate and jasper. And I would imagine it is, when I look at it, I don't know what this stone is, but there's jasper and agate going through this stone. And of course, all these white spots that are in it, which I truly do believe were causing me all the problems. And even when I took this all the way to the polish, these scratches here are white. So it was pulling from this whole big white area down here, but there's this one really strong white spot here that's coming this way. And then there's tubes going through it up and down. So they were going in all different directions, and it just became, you might be able to see a few tubes here that are going this way. And then this one up here is going that way. And I mean, they're going in many different directions. So it became very difficult, and I finally decided to give up on it. I don't know what I'm going to do with this stone. I may one day go back in and see if I can try and solve the problem of how to cut it, because it is such a pretty stone. The colors in it are just gorgeous. But that did not work out. This one did, and it does have pretty color. I love the red going through that tan color, and then the clear and black streaks that are going through it. Very pretty stone. And of course this one here has, I don't know if I can get those, I keep on trying this, but let's just see. Let's see if I can get in close enough. It probably is not going to do it, but let's just see if we can come in close enough with that to see the pattern that's in there. Probably not. But in any case, folks, this was a couple of stressful stones. I spent a long time on these, and I think I need to take a break now for a few days because my hands are really hurting. So I'm going to take a break, and next week I will see if I feel like cutting some others from that group. But I know this one here was one that was a big challenge, a challenge that I failed at. So that happens from time to time. You get winners, you get losers, but get more winners than losers, so that's what's good. Okay, well, I just wanted to share with you this week's work. I had in the beginning said that I was feeling a little lazy, so I only cut a few stones, but those couple of stones there took me longer time to do than if I had cut a dozen of them. I spent several days on those couple of stones because of the problems I kept on coming into, and that happens. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed what I did here. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up, and please, I would really appreciate some comments from some of you folks to help me along the line to decide what direction to take. I've tried a few different things on this channel with news stories about gemstones and cutting agates and stuff like that. A few of you are really great. You're leaving comments in that down there, so I'm getting a little idea of what you like. But if more of you would do that, it would help me pick a direction for the channel that you're all going to enjoy watching. Okay, folks, until next time, just remember, take a little time to enjoy all that Mother Nature has to offer. Rock on.